Chaos continues to rain down on the Middle East, the financial markets. Trump has come out with this massive statement that has a twist to it. It's not what you think. And we're also going to be talking about what is happening now. What is happening next? Who's telling the truth? Because there are so many different stories getting told right now. It's our job to cut through the noise so you are best prepared to understand the situation and what is going to happen next, guys. We're going to break it all down in today's video. We'll talk about the financial markets as well in a bit of detail at the end of the video, but also throughout as well to give you all that alpha. And let's get straight into the video. So the first thing we need to talk about is yesterday we spoke about this tweet. We knew something big was coming out of Trump, and Trump dropped it over on Truth Social. So let's read this out. And this has actually got a huge twist to it. So he says right here, I am pleased to report that the United States of America and the country of Iran have had, over the last 2 days, very good and productive conversations regarding a complete and total resolution of our hostilities in the Middle East. Based on the tenor and tone of these in-depth, detailed, and constructive conversations, which will continue throughout the week, I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period, subject to the success of the ongoing meetings and discussions. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And when that tweet came out, the financial markets absolutely pumped. Oil price dumped. Stocks went up. Gold went up. The S&P 500 rose as well. But the twist to this is what Trump was saying right there wasn't actually true. And he actually got called out in real time over on X. The Telegram intelligence channels lit up with that tweet. And I'll reveal to you with evidence what the other parties are saying about this, because the Iranians are basically saying Trump's tweet is complete and utter fake news. And you can see right here, this is the person, the source of what Trump was talking about. And he says right here in this second bit, and this has been viewed 3.1 million times, he says, no negotiations but have been held with the US, and fake news is used to manipulate the financial and oil markets and escape the quagmire which the US and Israel are trapped right now. So the situation, it's like Command and Conquer. It's that track. We're in trouble. The situation keeps spinning out of control. And unfortunately, I think back in the 90s, when there was a few media stations, there was newspapers, TV channels, and people couldn't debunk and look at this information in real time. And there was a censorship board and all that. You could probably get away with a tweet like this trying to manipulate the markets, but because the intelligence is flowing so quickly, the information, this was getting very quick to call out. But you can see, regardless of that, big insiders made a lot of money off this. So you can actually see right here. Traders placed $580 million worth of oil trades 15 minutes prior to President Trump's post about a potential peace deal with Iran. And so 6,200 Brent and WTI futures contracts were traded between 6:49 a.m. and 6:50 a.m. 1.5 billion in notional value worth of S&P 500 futures were traded. And, $100 million worth of profits in 20 minutes. So why work a 9-to-5 job when you can just get the big inside scoop and just front run these announcements, which they're not even connected to reality, and make some money through that. But, big inside information, big pump up. You can see the price, the movements right here from the S&P 500 off that. And, very, very interesting things to say the absolute least right here. But having said that, so the Iranians have basically come out and they've denied what Trump is talking about. And as a result of that, what's happened is the market is cooling off once again. So you see with the gold price, we actually had a bit of a rally, even though it has been bleeding quite a lot. So it actually rallied from about $4,000 up to about 4,500. So it added back quite a lot of money, but then it's starting to cool off. Same deal with silver, bit of a rally, but it's coming down again. Same deal with the S&P 500, and the futures are actually going to open up potentially negative. So they're down about 0.5% currently. Now, with all this, what's the truth behind the matter? Like, what actually is happening? And this is summarized up by the Iranian leaders right here. So right here, senior Iranian official has come out. The war will continue until all damages are compensated, all economic sanctions are lifted, and a guarantee is obtained that the US will not interfere in Iran's affairs. And at the same time, this has come out. So remember, the Iranians have actually been quite consistent in their point of view. The point remains, and this is a map of the Middle East right now. Here's Iran. Iran wants the US out of the Middle East. It says, pack up your bags, get out of here. We want payments for this war. We want you out of the region. And they are not, there is no negotiations really going on that there is actual evidence for. So we're seeing Trump get called out in real time. They're refuting what he's saying. And the interesting thing about Trump is he's actually coming up and he's making even more stuff up. So the most recent one, the Iranians have made fun of Trump again, is because Trump has come out right here and he's talking about a new thing. So we'll play the clip and then we'll get Iran's response from this. But it's about the Strait of Hormuz. This came out literally today. So let's play this.
What about the Strait of Hormuz? Who's going to be in control of that?
That'll be opened very soon if this works.
How soon? And who's in control of it? Will Iran still be able to control the flow of oil?
Be jointly controlled.
By who?
Maybe me. Maybe me.
You want the United States to be in
Me
control
and the Ayatollah, whoever the Ayatollah is, whoever the next Ayatollah.
So right there, we have Trump coming up with a new plan where the Strait of Hormuz, it's not going to be under the US plan, according to his new plan, which again, these plans tend to change by the day. So every day we have like a new update out of Trump, a new objective, a new goal. Some people are calling him Don Zu over on X with, the art of Don Zu right here. But one thing, so he's saying there's going to be like a joint control of the Strait of Hormuz now. That's the new plan for today. And the Iranians have actually come out over on X with a viral comeback. And they've said right here, the Strait of Hormuz will be controlled by me and the Ayatollah. And they've got the little kiddie driving wheel and they got the real wheel right here. So they're having fun with this whole situation as well. But what we are seeing, and this is probably the serious thing to understand about this video, even though, look, you're seeing, statements coming out of Trump which are not really matching reality. One thing that a lot of things are pointing towards, and we still have evidence for this, is the troop movements are hinting at some type of ground invasion that is continuing. So we had some breaking intelligence just recently that there is a significant amount of US military hardware that is continuing to fly towards the Middle East region. We have those marine amphibious groups also moving to the Middle East region. And this is the clearest thing, was where, you can assess what politicians say, but quite often, you might not get honest answers. But one thing that is real is supply lines and the movement of troops. So you have a look right here, a significant movement is underway from US Army, Navy, and Air Force bases in CONUS in the Middle East, comprised of at least 35 C-17 flights. And C-17s, they're big planes. So this is what a C-17 looks like, very big, carries lots of things. And they're headed into Israel, they're headed into Jordan, they're headed into Jordan again. So 2 bases in Jordan, 1 base in Israel. So military equipment heading into the region. Now, Washington Post is hinting at what could potentially happen next. So I want to put this out here. This is one of the big escalations that people should have on the radar, because again, this thing doesn't seem to be going down the peaceful route at the moment. And it's all focused about reopening the strait. So it says right here, reopening the strait, a critical conduit for global energy supplies, has emerged as perhaps the paramount objective of a war that security officials now believe is unlikely to achieve its goals that briefly seemed possible at the outset of the US and Israeli military option, including overthrowing Iran's theocratic regime and putting a nuclear weapon permanently out of Tehran's reach. So they are going for a potential opening up of the Strait of Hormuz. How they're actually going to do this, we're going to see, but we do have some hints I'll reveal later in the video where it could potentially happen. But they are saying a contingent of 4,500 US sailors and Marines are headed to the Middle East, including an infantry battalion backed by helicopters, F-35 jets, and armored landing vehicles. And they are hinting at potentially Karg Island and elsewhere. But the gamble, the second gamble might be coming soon. So remember, the first gamble that went ahead was this whole, opening up of the conflict, and that's backfired. But it might be time potentially coming up soon where they're going to go for double or nothing. So Trump might do a double or nothing play right here, where they try and effectively conquer the Strait of Hormuz somehow through military action. And that might be the big escalation. So again, if that's going to happen, and there is a deeper escalation to this conflict, I mean, the markets are already shaky as they are, right? Oil is already kind of ripping back up. So Brent has just, roughly touched $100. Gold and silver has been looking shaky. It's been acting very volatile. So if this does go down this escalation pathway, which it does look like there is evidence to support that is actually happening right now, what you could see is you could see more serious volatility coming into the financial markets. Gold and silver have been very shaky recently, and oil has been spiky. So unfortunately, the storm might be getting, stronger coming up if this is going to actually become a reality. But the real question is can Trump actually pull this off? So you can actually see right here from the Wall Street Journal, they are comparing what America is about to do to what happened with the Suez Canal crisis back in the 1950s, where Britain and France eventually lost their huge influence in the world, right? So is America on the edge of losing its geopolitical influence in the Middle East after such a supreme run after, World War II to where we're up right now? This could potentially be it. So this is all coming down to the Strait of Hormuz. With these troop movements, they could be looking to try and conquer this. And we're going to see how this all plays out. And to give you some hints, some people are saying Karg Island might be a distraction. So this one right here, Karg Island, it's very close to Iran, very hard to get to. It's unlikely you can just drive a boat up here without getting attacked. But what they are hinting at is potentially, if that's not the play, intelligence analysts out there are saying, Trump or the US forces might be looking at this area, bottom right corner of Iran. There's an international airport here, so this could potentially be one of the areas if they go for it. But having said that, it's not going to be a walk in the park. And the reason I say that is because at the moment, we still know with the Iranians, missiles are a huge problem, drones are a huge problem, and trying to, ward off drones and missiles is something the Middle East is struggling with right now. And it would be very tough for whoever lands on Iran, if they do, or around the Strait of Hormuz, to protect themselves from those missiles. So again, it's a huge monumental set of events, geopolitical events that are going to come up. And I think the markets are going to react accordingly. So what we're seeing at the moment, to summarize where we're up, the Iranians are standing firm with their position. They are denying what Trump is saying right here. They're coming out over on X and other areas, just denying what Trump is saying it's fake news. And the US is in a very, very tough position right now, and it could potentially escalate again. And remember, with the Strait of Hormuz, if this gets fully closed down, this is where you might have massive fertilizer problems, other massive petrochemical problems, massive energy problems. And this could be one of the worst catastrophes, the world sees for a long time. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think on this channel, we just need to prepare for everything. And guys, that is your update for today. Expect more volatility in the financial markets, and the information is coming in rapidly right now. But if you want the next update, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you stay fully up to date. And appreciate you guys tuning in. Go have a great one. I'll see you in the next video.